You have no idea how incredibly thrilled I am to be here tonight. You know, really, the Fudge holds a special place for me. At first, you might not think it looks like much, but it's launched a few careers here. It really has. It's terminated a hell of a lot more, but one of the things that this place has done for me is, I think, probably my greatest influence. I met the person here. Those of you who have been here before, you know Carl Big Hands Bieberman. He was an amazing human being. He doesn't come around anymore. He was, well, to me, there'd just be nobody like him. He was an accordion player, and in defiance did not know Lady of Spain, and I admired him for that. It takes guts to do that in this town. A few months ago, he was tragically hurt in a lawn furniture accident, and we do not see him anymore. But if you look up on the wall over there, the Fudge memorabilia wall, his picture is always going to be at the top, and just an amazing human being. Maybe you'll think about him sometime. Loosen up. You guys are too tense. I can detect that already. By looking at me, do you think I'm kind of a conservative looking person? I mean, I kind of look conservative. I dress conservative. I'm even starting to get mail from Republicans now. Something new for me. Yeah, you can tell I'm kind of a corduroy hush puppy person. I personify that era. I wasn't always that way, though. I used to have long hair. I drove a motorcycle. I used to call beer brew. You know. But, fortunately, I've changed. I've seen the light. Nowadays, I own a Hewlett-Packard calculator. I've become very conservative. If the food is as good as it used to be, these 5 people ought to be out of here in no time. If you've been here for more than a half hour, by the way, I want you to relax just a little bit. If you've been here more than a half hour, there's a 40% likelihood that your car stereo is already gone. So just relax as best you can. A little murmuring, come on. Just have a good time, eat your, is that dinner? I've always suspected the place, but the Fudge is, when was that last time I was here? It's been a while. They no longer have the limo. Just the people who seat you. There used to be 20, 30 people to take care of you. It just doesn't happen like that anymore. Ooh. I think there's a little miscommunication here on some of your parts, and I'm not enjoying that at all. Just this past week, I might fade on you here soon because I gave blood this week. The Red Cross, I'm on their list. You know, they're a nice group of people to do business with if something is wrong. But if they want something, they can be cruel and vicious. You know, it's like every 7 weeks, come on, Mike, give us that blood. And they're harder to get rid of than Herbalife people. Just had a terrible time with them. In case anybody's interested, A positive, the line forms on the right here. Yeah, could you tell? A positive. I bet you're the hit of every party you go to. It's the truth, too, isn't it? But you can't get it by donating blood. One of the things, I don't know, it's not bragging, I am kind of proud of this though. 2 years in a row now, I have won the Golden Marrow Award for my clotting ability. When I give blood and they take the needle out of the arm, you know, it's kind of gruesome, but like that, I stop bleeding. It's just amazing, you know, that they call up strangers to see this clotting ability. Today, I got just a marvelous little letter from Timmy Westfall, Iowa City, Iowa, and he's a hemophiliac, and it was just really touching. He said, Mike, maybe sometime we'll come out to the West Coast, the family and I, and if it's not too much to ask, we'd like to see you nick yourself. So it meant a lot to me, and I didn't wear the Golden Marrow Award tonight, but I have it at home. It just clashes with brown. I won't say that you folks are getting on my nerves because it's not the truth. I think you're reasonably swell, which typically Fudge audiences have. They still have that shakedown room over there? I don't think I'm a very difficult person to get along with, but I'm clearly defined on things I like and don't like. You know, you will know immediately where you stand with me. I just have that aura about me. Tonight, the top of the list of things that I'm not particularly pleased with, the country of France. I'm kind of a real history buff, and I found out that France has not won a war in over 400 years. At least they had a draw with Luxembourg, but that really doesn't count too much. In World War II, 1940 for instance, France had the largest army in the world. They had more tanks, more guns, more troops, more everything. And it took the Germans a week to overrun the place. And what I always admired most about that is that the Germans used Michelin road maps to do it. I can't help but wonder, didn't the Automobile Club think it was strange when they got a request for 50,000 road maps? And if you could underline the fastest way to Paris, we'd appreciate it. Thank you. Return address, Panzer Troops, Ardennes Forest. In the new Time, I might be Time, Newsweek, one of those magazines, they say that today, this is 1985, today France could be overrun by 4 guys and a dog. And not a big dog either. Something very suspicious about that. I also don't like the Hollywood bad guy, the typical, because chances are it's going to be a Nazi. And I would say 50% of all movies, TV shows, or our favorite TV miniseries, there's usually a Nazi in there. And be honest with you, I don't care to see these guys anymore. There's not a great deal of mystery involved. If there's a Nazi, you know, sooner or later they're going to lose. You just got to wait for it. I will say this about Nazis. Those guys could march, huh? Were they good? Yeah. Grambling Marching Band is better, but the Nazis were still just amazing. Third and honest, this will be the last group of people I'm not real thrilled with tonight, are our favorites, those Canadians. For the last 8 years, I've given serious thought of why are there Canadians? To be honest with you, I don't find any functional use for them. I think they give mammal a bad name. When you think about the weather that we've had this week, it's been abnormally cold. And where did the weather come from? It was a Canadian front. It wasn't a Mexican front. The Mexicans have never done anything to me. I think they're pretty hip, to be honest with you. The Canadians, just not a useful group of people. You know, as far as that goes, Mexican food all over Los Angeles, and it's good. Is there anybody who knows a Canadian restaurant? Is there one anywhere? I was curious, like, what do they serve? Is it white bread and water? There are some illegal Canadian immigrants in the United States. Lorne Green, Howie Mandel. God, where do they come up with these names? Morley Safer. And remember the baseball player Ferguson Jenkins? Guy won 300 games, but there isn't one American with a first name named Ferguson. You know, Irving Berlin wrote God Bless America. He never, ever even thought about writing God Bless Canada, and I think rightly so. Huh? You should try breathing through your nose. That's an incredible noise you make. Is there blood yet? I didn't think so. Carl Big Hands Bieberman. Let's think about him, all right? Let's be kind for just a little. You know, I was also saying that Canada claims the United States is the cause for the acid rain. And be honest with you, don't you think Canada's the perfect place for acid rain? If it's going to fall anywhere, why not there? What could it hurt? We test fire cruise missiles over Canada. I mean, there's just nothing that could absolutely go wrong. As far as I'm concerned, it's a foolproof method. And Chrysler and Ford also, they build cars in Canada. And the reason for this is the labor rates in Ethiopia are much too high. So that's how they determined Canada. Canada, a country populated virtually exclusive of Canadians. God, I just... what a shiver that sends down my spine. Please visit the Fudge Library before you go home. Think about Big Hands. Not only did he not know Lady of Spain, very seldom could you even convince him to do Cosi Cosa. Okay? Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you, Mike. Mike Anderson loosening up the crowd here.